Hello and welcome to an episode that deals with financial public relations and investor relations. I'm Swati Singh, teaching as a guest lecturer at Delhi University and other colleges. I have an experience of over a decade with various media organizations and 7 years in teaching. Objectives. In this episode, we will attempt to understand the following. Understand the meaning of financial public relations. Identify the various financial public of an organization. Comprehend the need and role of financial public relations. Understand financial terminology. Learn about the tools employed for financial public relations. To put it simply, financial public relations are all about communicating with the financial public of the organization. Though all public, whether financial or non-financial, are equally important for public relations, still the financial publics from dominant groups in the domain of financial relations for the organization play a significant role. Before we discuss future about the importance of financial public relations, let's get an insight into who are the target audiences with which public relations communicate for financial relations. The various financial public are the registered shareholders, investors and potential shareholders, direct financial community consisting of banks and financial institutions, stockbrokers and variety of key players in the global money market, individual or institutional. The financial and economic press in particular should include a large number of newspapers, trade journals, other publications and electronic media in general, who evince interest in economic and finance. The audience in the market scenario comprising of the competitors, financial analysts, financial stockbrokers firms which keep a track of the company's financial health. Their recommendations are generally trusted and acted upon by the investors and common people. Opinion leaders, business community, industry members, politicians and customers, employees are the opinion leaders which have major influence on the mass opinion. Consultants, some chartered accountants who advise the investors about the investments and future prospects of the organization in question. Government agencies who monitor and enforce certain regulations on companies. Amendments and addition is often a topic for discussion among investing public. These financial public are time and again informed and facilitated with financial information on the company's performance by the public relations officer. Now, we shall understand the basic need of carrying out the financial relations exercise in the first place. A public relations philosopher, Mr. Ivy Lee said, "It was not enough that a company was efficient and profitable, but it was necessary for the target public to be sufficiently informed about its good work." Any business organization cannot ignore informing their financial policies to their financial public. Also, financial public relations have to be fully and efficiently integrated with the broad public relations framework of the organization. The role and significance of financial public relations has come to re-evaluation against the backdrop of intense communication activity in the financial sector. A sense of vision, objective, values, style and appreciation of its own role are the guiding factors for the public relations in center stage. The management of companies by and large has come to realize that a well-heeled, well-structured and professional public relations program can lend valuable help and support in achieving corporate objectives. As a result, Specialized public relations practitioners in the area of financial public relations have emerged. The basic role of financial public relations is to assist the company in achieving the corporate objectives. This is to be achieved by looking after the interest of the investors. Effective shareholder and investor awareness can boost the share market provided the campaign is backed by the good performance, encouraging business development. Public relations by effective communication with shareholders and other financial public can play in the realms of raising of capital, tackling capital resources, thereby ensuring business development on continuous basis. In order to conduct the aforesaid role properly, a public relations executive should possess a sound knowledge of accountancy concepts and financial language, and at the same time he or she should be able to comprehend the common financial jargons, which are structure of balance sheet and profit and loss account, return on capital employed and return on shareholder capital, gross profit, net profit, taxation issues, control of working capital and liquidity, cost concept, depreciation expenses, investment and dividend, market capitalization, debt and equity, profitability index, budgeting and planning, key strategies and operating concepts, bonus shares and right shares, bulls and bears, share value par premium, sales and distribution expenses and overheads. Now, we shall take a look at public relations by financial interface. In practical terms, the financial management of any organization will have at least 4 basic objectives, namely the acquisition of financial resources, the investing of funds in economically productive assets, the managing of these assets in the most appropriate and profitable manner, the ultimate reconversion of some or all of the productive assets into future returns to the original investor, creditor, suppliers, employees and various other concerned groups. At the same time, with a view to build investors and shareholders' confidence and trust in the organization, the objective a public relations person has are to create an understanding between the investor, financial community and the company, to arouse interest of the prospective investors in the company's stocks, to reduce the turmoil of shareholders and promote the holding of company stocks as a long-term investment, to encourage investors to show interest in the company's products, purchase themselves and recommend others to buy the same, subdue shareholders' critical views on management and avoid any organized attempt to raise any anti-management lobbies, take steps and action to keep the stock market quotations at an attractive level, build corporate image of the organization among shareholders' constituencies, generate timely response to assuage the feeling of the financial community, float information that ensures management's full control over the company's operations, enlist existing shareholders' favorable support for company's plans to raise additional capital, take tough credit for the reasonable dividends distributed by the companies to the shareholders and justifiably explain its reasonableness. Keep up the two-way communication between investors' company to keep the cordial relationship to grow and flourish together. Garner enough favorable support for the management to carry out certain expansion programs, borrowing from institutional investors, and also execute certain plans for the benefit of investors and the community. In addition, financial management will have two more elementary functions, which even non-managers have to keep in view. Those are keeping track of revenues and expenses and achievement of the long-term financial objectives of the organization and shareholders. In order to achieve the aforesaid objectives, public relation officers employ certain financial tools which facilitate the image building and development of mutual trust between an organization and its financial public. At the same time, facilitate growth, capital gains and long-term developmental activities for the organization. The tools deployed for financial public relations are Annual Report, Annual General Meeting, Chairman's Address, Financial Results Advertisements, New Stock Announcements, Media Relations, Film, Audio-Video Series and PowerPoint presentations, Internet and Email. Now, we shall elaborate each tool in order to understand its role and functioning with respect to financial public relations. According to H. Fraser Moore and Frank B. Kolpa, the corporation's annual report is the primary medium of communication in stockholder relations and a secondary medium of communication with non-shareholder employees, communities, distributors and supplier publics. The annual report is the one opportunity a company has each year to tell its shareholders and other financial public what it has done, is doing and plans to do. It reflects the company's image and the caliber of its management. It may also be able to attract potential investors and at the same time, if effective, could also influence the share market. For a public relations professional, designing and printing an annual report is an annual affair. It takes a year-long effort to compile and present the financial data, which is done with the help of the finance manager. The balance sheet is delivered well in time to the public relations manager. The entire activity has to be well conducted, time-bound and periodic. Highlights of the annual report. Generally, an annual report should highlight financial position, production progress, marketing performance, personal activities, litigation issues, taxation, impact of new laws, future outlook and projects, growth programs, mergers and acquisition, awards or financial achievements of the organization. Also, a professionally produced annual report should possess some distinct characteristics which give it authenticity and appeal. The characteristics of an annual report are: the cover of the annual report should project the corporate philosophy, growth, focus on people and the economy. The annual report should be compatible with the core competencies of the organization and project corporate identity in clear focus. It is logical to devote a page to the table of contents showing number of pages and position of the content. Photographs, graphic, technical charts to showcase new products and major highlight of the year are used. Project the board chairman and members in clear focus with their brief profiles to bolster investors' confidence in the professional management. Chairman and managing directors report to the shareholders' briefings them about the achievements and events like awards, rewards and innovations of the year to project the company's growth prospects and future plans. Bare facts of balance sheet, profit and loss accounts, etc. Historical data projecting the past 5-year performance statistics, provided the company is maintaining steady growth. Auditors' reports, which is mandatory to produce under the law. Many public relations practitioners consider the annual general meeting as an annual wrestling match between the management and the shareholders. Yet, it is a legal obligation for a company to organize an annual general meeting once in a year after closing of the books of accounts for the previous financial year. Some organizations would like to get away with the meeting in as short time as possible, making it look like a formality, while some other companies use it as an important image building event. To escape the monotony, some companies would have a meeting in a distant location, while others would hold these meetings in main metros with all fanfare. There are also those companies who hold an annual general meeting in their own vicinity, especially if space is not a problem for them. The usual agenda of an annual general meeting is to transact business as per the legal requirements. It includes a schedule which flows in the following manner. Chairman calls the meeting to order. Chairman's speech. Counting of proxies. A reading and approval of the minutes of previous year's meeting. Appointment of election officers. Polling, if any, on passing of certain resolutions about appointment of new directors. Passing resolution on reappointment of existing board members. Passing of resolutions concerning company's business growth and expansion and closing of meeting. This schedule also comprises of a question answer session between the management and the shareholders, wherein clarification or action taken on certain cases is discussed. Generally, a pool of possible questions and their answers is created by the management to tackle the questions are. Simply because this exercise could make or break the trust and understanding between an organization and the public. Further, to assuage investor feelings, the meetings are followed by high tea and a gift. The public relations person not only organizes the entire event but at the same time provides the chairman's speech, presentations, literature of the organization and other logistical support during the annual general meeting. The chairman's address is a ritual at any annual general meeting, which is to be carried out diligently. A public relations officer writes the speech after taking the inputs from other divisions of the company. When the speech is compiled, a final draft has to get an approval of the chairman and the board of directors. Also, sufficient number of copies of the speech are printed and formulated in the shape of booklet for distribution to the shareholders and other interested public like media, financial community, opinion leaders, and so on. As a part of the image building effort, some companies even resort to publication of the speech in a mainstream newspaper by converting it into a fancy and well drafted editorial or advertisement. These advertisements occupy an expensive space as they are either a full page advertisement or are published on the prominent pages. Examples of such speeches showcasing the corporate performance and corporate philosophy could be that of ITC, Indian Oil Corporation, Godrej, etc. It is but mandatory for every company to publish their quarterly, half-yearly and annual financial results. After the considered balance sheet is provided by the finance manager, the Public Relations Department advertises the result in the press. As a policy, some companies do it routinely to keep a low profile, but given the choice, Public Relations creatively flaunts the company's outstanding results to build their prestige among the financial community and masses at large. Such attempts also support the company's efforts to keep stock quotations at an attractive level in the share market. Reliance Communications announced its unaudited consolidated financial results for the third quarter through a press release. Floating information about a company's plan to solicit capital from the investor market is a major exercise. Public relations takes with respect to the aforesaid exercise starts with designing and printing of prospectus, application forms and publishing advertisements in the media, inspiring investors to buy the company's stocks. These days, the stocks of any company are rarely sold par value, but the bids are invited from the investors by setting an upper limit which may be 5 to 10 times more than the original face value as permitted by the law. If the issue gets oversubscribed, another advertisement is put up in the media with a note stating, "Thank you investors for the support by reposing confidence in the company by oversubscribing the issue." Nowadays, despite using print media, a lot of companies use television to sell their stock and inspire or influence investors. This was done by Reliance Power, which generated hype resulting in a hysterical response by the investors. To further support this effort, radio jingles are broadcasted at the local FM stations at high frequency as a reminder to the investors to avail the aforesaid lucrative offer. Since media plays an important role in spreading of information and holds substantial account of authenticity, networking with media for financial relations is an important part of public relations regime. The public relations officer uses media as a tool to showcase their financial competence through press release on annual results, declaration of dividends for shareholders, announcements of quarterly, half-yearly or yearly reports, showcasing chairman's speech, organizing press conferences, exclusive interviews with the chairman to recount company's achievements and growth plans. With the pink press showing focused interest in their business activity, media relations becomes a crucial element in maintaining investor relations arena. With the advancement in communication and technology, public relations have acquired a new set of skills with respect to computers and information technology. The use of corporate films, recording of annual general meetings, documentaries developed as a part of corporate social responsibility record of an organization, creating presentations for the shareholders during various meetings, using desktop publication for printing house journals. All are carried out with the use of modern technology by the public relations executive from time to time. The use of internet for buying and selling of shares, stocks, bonds, etc. has become quite popular. Also, internet is omnipresent due to easy access and 24/7 availability of the medium all over the globe. Internet shrunk the world into a global village. Companies' websites are accessible and working round the clock, where investors can get information about the company. The online trading facilities have given a new dimension to the finance for the investors. Organizations like Yahoo and Google keep flashing the stock quotations and happenings at the world markets on a 24-hour basis. The challenge that the public relations person faces here is that of keeping these websites updated from time to time. In addition, the email system helps to communicate frequently about the status of the company's stocks right in the comfort of investors' homes and offices. Some of the mutual fund companies like Reliance and Tata regularly send emailers to the investors about their policies and status reports. Financial relations are an important realm of public relations since time immemorial. Public relation facilitates an organization in not only a positive image and harnessing healthy relationship based on mutual respect and trust between an organization and its public. Public relations actually create circumstances which lead to financial growth and recognition of a company by focusing on reinforcing investor trust and imbibing shareholders and other financial public's confidence in the organization regularly. Public relation creates new business opportunities and sustains the existing business growth. That is all we have for you today. Thank you and goodbye.